Hi, everyone. We're back. Books some more 1818. Yes. Who's on our show today? I don't know. I'm going to let you in him. He's going to introduce himself. Okay.
Sure.
And he's already holding up his book. Yes, it looks like another author. Uh, the name of the book is There's a Tortoise in My Hair. And Calvin Schwartz, please introduce yourself. Tell us a little about yourself, please.
Sure.
And
All
welcome to
right.
the show.
Here comes my canned response, and I've got it down to a science because I've been doing this for a long time. I went to Rutgers College of Pharmacy, graduated in '69, did pharmacy for 12 years, and the other part uh, of the title is it's a journey to spirit. There's a tortoise in my hair, a journey to spirit, which means even though it's fiction, it's kind of a little bit of me. It's my journey to spirituality, and some of the stuff is haunting. So I was a pharmacist 12 years, and something came over me from the universe that said no more pharmacy. So I quit my profession, sat home for a few months, got caught up on General Hospital and One Life to Live on Channel 7, so soap operas. And then I couldn't I had to go to work. I'm newlywed and just bought a house. So I got a job selling eyeglasses of all things. And within a year and a half, and I liked it. I liked the whole communicative thing. So within a year and a half, holding my book up again, within a year and a half, I got a job working for a company called Luxottica. It's the largest eyewear company in the world. They own LensCrafters and Pearl and Ray-Ban. Actually, they own everything. So I spent 25 wonderful years there working for the richest Italian in the world, a multi-billionaire, and the son, another multi-billionaire. So there's 25 years worth of amazing things stuck in my head. And then something happened near the end of my time there, another spiritual intervention, and something said to go write a novel. So I wrote my first novel after watching Casablanca. It's called Vichy Water. After watching Casablanca, I wrote that, and then I decided I'm now a novelist. Why don't I become a journalist? So, 14 years ago, I became a journalist here in Central Jersey. And then I got involved with NJ Discover, a production company, and soon I had a cable TV talk show, which I was co-hosting and co-producing. At our peak, we brought in Gilbert Gottfried, we brought in Frankie Previtt, Academy Award for Dirty Dancing. And then I got involved in my alma mater. I love giving back to students, and 5 years ago I was asked to teach at Rutgers University. So at 74, I began a whole new career of teaching at Rutgers University. And then along the way, I got involved with the Women's Health Institute at Rutgers Robert Wood Johnson Medical School. And before I know it, I'm in the advisory committee of the Women's Health Institute. I don't know a lot about women's health, but I'm learning. Uh, Learning. And then I started a podcast myself called Conversations with Calvin, We the Species, during a pandemic to keep me busy. And that's grown to 9,000 subscribers. So I'm doing, and then the spirits, the spirits came into my life and told me I need to tell a story of my journey to spirit. And I was talking to some friends today, and they said, Calvin, you have such a message here. And the message is there's something beyond our realm. And I'm just a regular guy. I go to Rutgers football games, basketball games. I'm a regular guy. And yet on January 17th, I fell down 11 steps and somersaulted and should have died. Instead, I got up and walked away. And then in 1974, I was drag racing on Mizell Avenue in Springfield, 65 miles an hour. I had a Volkswagen car hit me. My car rolled over 6 times. The car was crushed. I should have died. And I got up and walked away, which means there's something beyond our realm. And I explore a lot of that as things happen to this character, Cameron Simmons, who in lots of ways similar to me. And that's my life story, Sylvia.
Wow. You are very accomplished, and what a miracle. My gosh. My God.
Yeah. Tell me
You've
about
done
it.
so much. Wow. Brava. Brava.
Thank you.
My
Thank
goodness.
you. Thank you. Thank
Wow.
you.
You must be proud of yourself.
You know what? I am.
Good,
I am,
good.
and you know what? This stuff, it took a long time to come out. This stuff, came out late 60s and 70s. It was all stuck, and it started to come out. It was all inside. I never planned any of this stuff. It just happens. This just happened, and I just felt the need to tell this. By the way, I got a Kirkus star. On
Yes,
this
tell
book.
us about that, please. My
Yes.
question, which would be, you recently published a novel, There's a Tortoise in My Hair, A Journey to Spirit, which got the prestigious Kirkus Star. How did that journey come about?
Well, all of these things that happen to me, I could talk for hours and hours. You don't have hours.
No.
They're haunting, fascinating spiritual things. And I'm a regular guy. I always keep saying it. I'm just a regular guy living here in Central Jersey. But there are such powerful things, and it's beyond. It's beyond normal realm. So I just felt and I'm not a writer. I studied science and chemistry at Rutgers and pharmacology. I'm not a writer. I wasn't trained to be a writer. That first book was just an exercise in writing. It helped to, it helped to help me change my life. But this became a mission, and I felt I have a guardian angel. It turns out it's my grandfather, and it took me 10 years to kind of figure out who's kind of been watching over me. I never knew him. And so I felt obligated. There's a sense of obligation that I need to tell this story because it's a wonderful story. And the Kirkus Star thing, I'm not a writer, but I guess I am because I did things the right way. When you write a book, and the right proper editing and everything was done. So as a goof, I said, "What the hell? I'll send it into Kirkus." Reviews, the most prestigious book reviewers in America. And, 3 months later, it came back. Kirk has compared me to John Irving, The World According to Garp, and they gave me a Kirk star. You pinch yourself. You know, is this me? Is this me? How could this be me? It's me. And now lately, I just read that I'm compared to Philip Roth now. I'm not Philip Roth. No way, no how. But there's certain elements of my style, it's like Philip Roth. And then recently, Kurt Vonnegut. I'm not Kurt Vonnegut, but I quote him in this book. So it's a great, it's a great joy, and such a surprise for me. It's like, you know, go figure.
Can you read a snippet of your book for us? This is something you really want to share with the audience. What do you think?
Sure. Well, that's yeah, sure. Okay. I enjoy, actually, this is one of my favorite chapters.
Okay.
I'll just start it off. Well, I wasn't prepared, but I'm always happy to do this.
Sorry, I throw
No,
curveballs.
that's all
Time.
right. It's how the tortoise got in my hair. It's never too late for a happy childhood. It was August 1945. 2 weeks earlier, President Truman had given the final okay to bomb Hiroshima and Nagasaki. My mother was extremely pregnant, and my parents were violently, excessively poor. So when my mother's water broke, she had no car to drive to the hospital. Instead, she walked 2 blocks from our house on Goodwin Avenue to the Beth Israel Hospital in Newark. 8 hours of pushing and praying preceded my arrival. My father was not around for support. He was a remarkably consistent man, never around to support those close or far. Aunt Edith found him at a neighborhood bar he frequented a few blocks away, and she briskly escorted him back to the waiting room. The doctor came out. My father jumped up, yelling in a barley and hops pitched voice, "Doc, don't tell me anything, just show me." His reddened face pressed to the glass while the nurse held me up. Hands flailed wildly, drunkenly. His elbow rubbed the foggy glass to discern my gender.
Hmm. Interesting. Interesting. Wow. Hmm. That was a very important part of the book. I felt so when
Yeah, you know
I
what?
really liked it. There was so much information in that
There's
book.
one more paragraph to read.
Sure, sure.
Uh, um, uh, um, he was a happy man, realizing his long dream to get that tough, impressionable son, but his blood alcohol level still indicated he was under the influence, so he named me Cameron Simmons. If I'd been able to speak when I was born, I would have implored right then, what the hell? Why burden me with such an off-the-wall name like I'm getting called Cam throughout the decades? Why would I need help? My mother had pushed me out for 8 hours. Things were tight down there. So I was born with a messed up head pointed so dramatically, so embarrassingly, that my mother insisted I wear one of those dopey hi-ho hats from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs for the first year of my Newark life.
Hmm. Now, do you plan on writing any more books?
Why do you ask? And this is all new. I met this amazing woman, Kay Wagner. She has Bold Authors Network. She helps authors, and she read my book, and she loved my book, and we became friends, and we've been getting together on Zoom. And she said, you know, Calvin, there's 4 books within here. There's 4 books. I said, what do you mean? She said, you know, the story of how you became a father, a parent. That's
Yeah,
a journey. And
that
then,
is
you know,
lovely.
you work for a billionaire. There's only 3 billionaires in New Jersey. So not that many people can say they worked for a
Yeah.
billionaire. And I spent 25 wonderful years there. So you learn stuff. So that's 2. And there's other. So there's 4 more. I'm not happy about this. So I thought, you know, after, you know, 5 years and 5 years of writing, that's 10 years, you know, I'm done. I can hang it up. But now, and I started, I'm well into uh, writing that next book. It's all
Ooh,
been outlined and structured, and
wow.
but this is fast. This was 5 years. That
Five
that
years.
yeah, that'll be 2 months. So yes, Sylvia, I'm writing some
Good.
more.
I hope I get to read it. Now, let me ask you, what started you on your writing journey? Did you have writers in your family? Did anyone mentor you?
Funny, nobody mentored me. Nobody mentored me. There was a very successful writer in my family. My father had 5 brothers. Um, Growing up in Plainfield, New Jersey, and one of the brothers, David Schwartz, never finished high school, but never went to college, but married an amazing woman who saw the potential in his storytelling. And bing, bang, they got married here, I don't know, in the 30s, whatever. And they moved out to California, and my uncle became a very successful movie writer.
Ooh, wow.
And Robin and the Seven Hoods, which was a great movie written for the Rat Pack and Frank Sinatra, was my Uncle Dave's 100% work.
Wow.
So yes, there are the writing genes in the family.
Hmm. You can write a book about him too, then I guess.
I sure can. His
Wow.
journey,
You have a lot
sure.
of material. In fact, you've been so successful, you could write several books, I'll be honest with you. It's true. When she said there were 4 books in that one book,
Yeah.
like I said, it was loaded with information.
The
Loaded.
other journey, it's funny, but the other journey is reinvention, and you know, I'm approaching octogenarian status in a few months,
Wow.
and you know, there's no slowing down, and you know, people, I guess when I hit 70, they start sitting on the front porch in the rocking chair with prune juice on the rocks, kind of hanging it up, and
Yeah,
I don't do that, and you know, I'm
yeah.
just again, I'm a regular guy, and you know, I'm a regular guy with this, but there's stuff to do, you know, there's stuff to do. So there's reinvention, and you know, I've practiced since 1969 when I was studying pharmacology. I practiced my own version of longevity.
Mm.
And so, and whatever I'm doing, and it's not a perfect world, you know, I can't play tennis anymore, you know, the knees stop working.
Mm.
But this thing up here, which we all need, is working better than ever before. And that's a byproduct of having done the right kind of living. I'm not perfect, nobody is, but so that allows me to do stuff Yeah.
I have a question. You have a podcast, right? Tell us
Yeah.
about the podcast. It's called Conversations with Calvin, We the Species. How did that come about?
So here it is in the middle of the pandemic. It's August 2020, and I'm very active on social media. So I was playing around on LinkedIn that particular day, and I connected. I've got over 15,000 connections on LinkedIn, which is it's nice. And I was with a student. Her name was Claudine, and she was at that time a sophomore at Rutgers. We had connected, and we were just messaging each other. And she was a student at Rutgers and a track star. She was a triple jump record holder, and we were, just kind of getting acquainted. And I told her I'm very involved in Rutgers, and one thing led to another. And I said, hey, how about we talk on the phone? Because the following week we talked on the phone, and I'm saying to myself, she's so grounded and so with depth and personality, and there was so much to her that something clicked. And I had already, my daughter-in-law had been here a few days before, and I asked her about Zoom. I didn't know anything about it, and she connected me on Zoom. It took her a minute. So when I was talking to Claudine, I said, I just got this great idea. You are so amazing, and you're such a banner and such an example of all the good things about Gen Z. How about if I interview you? And you know what? I'll call it Conversation with Calvin, We the Species. And she said, sure. And the following week, the Conversation with Calvin, We the Species was born. I interviewed her. She's my first interview. And
Wow.
we went on to become great friends. And
Wow.
she worked with me for 4 years on a channel, doing some editing and it was my feeling that I'm never going to get George Clooney or Oprah to come on, but there are armies and armies of wonderful, accomplished, amazing people all over the world who don't have that platform, and maybe in some small way, I can give them a platform. So I've been really fortunate, Sylvia. I've interviewed people in Cameroon, Lebanon, Scotland, Nigeria, India, Australia, France, Israel, Borneo, Slovenia. I think I said Scotland. I mean, literally all over the world, and England. It's been a wonderful journey for me because you get a chance to meet such amazing, wonderful, accomplished people, and
Wow.
and
That's fascinating. Really fascinating. Where can we buy your book?
The book primarily is on Amazon and Amazon Kindle, and it's available, I guess, through other booksellers. I don't really pay a lot of attention. It's Amazon for now.
Be an audio version?
Someday I'll do that. Someday, actually, the head of the audio, that Audible, whatever it's called, he's in Newark, and this starts off in Newark, where I was born. So at some point, I'll try to do it on audio eventually.
How about your first book? Is that available also on
Yeah,
Amazon?
that's I do very little with that
Oh,
because well, it was just a stepping stone for me.
what
It
is it
it,
about? I haven't read that
it
one yet.
No, again, I don't really push it, and I almost forgot what it's about because it's been 20 years.
That's
But it's
wow.
actually it's right near you. This is the train station in Maplewood,
Oh, wow.
and there's
That's
a character here. There's two young men sitting on a bench on the train station in Maplewood in a bottle of Vichy water from Casablanca, the movie Casablanca, and they're waiting to take a train into New York. It's a coming of age story. One boy is a Jewish boy, and the other boy is half Coptic Christian and half Muslim, and they become friends for life. It's a
Mhm.
beautiful, wonderful friendship, and that's the gist of the story. Um, uh, but it wasn't edited. Just something. It was a vehicle for me to change my life,
Mm,
and it came about because my grandfather stuck that into my head one night,
mm.
and
Be
then
water.
yeah. And then I read about that,
Mm.
here.
Where did you, who made the cover for that book, and how did you come to that title? I mean, there's a tortoise in my hair?
Yes.
Well, I was wondering, how did you
Actually,
come to this title? What does this mean?
well,
What should it mean?
well, the tortoise. When I was born and or my early years in real life, I was very slow to develop socially, academically, and I finally got rid of that after 60 years. And I imagined, my father never said it, but I imagined my father was disappointed because I wasn't a great athlete, although I did go on to become a very good basketball player. But I was just slow. I couldn't listen. I couldn't tie my shoes until seventh grade.
Mhm.
So I used to take the laces and stick it into my shoes because I didn't know how to tie shoes. So everything about my life, socially, academically, was really slow. And back in those days, growing up in the 50s, there weren't a lot of mechanisms around to speed up development or support the way we're so used to all kinds of support today. So I had to fend for myself. And so when I was writing this, you kind of use yourself as a little bit of a model. I would imagine that my father would have said there's a tortoise. This Cameron's father said he's so slow in walking and doing anything. There must be a tortoise in his hair.
I see
So
now.
that's where
See.
that came
Let
about.
me see the cover. Show us, explain the cover to us. What is that a picture of?
Well, actually, it's the Jersey Shore. It's Belmar.
Why did you pick that?
Well, it's funny when I was nearing the end of writing this, I needed a cover, and there's a lot about the character that he goes to a jetty in Belmar at the Shark River as a young kid, and he used to, and that was me in real life. So I was 9, 10 years old. We were down the shore for the month of August. I'd go to this jetty a couple blocks away, and I'd just sit there for hours and dream. And one of the things I dreamt about was someday you're going to be a father, Calvin. So I was 10 years old, Sylvia, and I'm dreaming of becoming somebody's father. And so that was part of me, and it was part of the story of this character.
Yeah.
So, and since it was a theme, one of the many themes in this book, I remember 15 years ago, because every year I like to go here to this jetty at least once a season and meditate and dream and look at the ocean and smell the ocean air. And every year I've done that. So 15 years ago, when I started my journalism, I went there and I was sitting by myself and my legs were outstretched on the jetty and I took out my camera. I always have my camera. And I said, what a great picture. My sneaker and the jetty. And that and I remembered I took that picture and it always resonated with me.
Mhm.
And I thought that would make a great cover. And then I had an artist put a tortoise on top of that. So that's where this came from. I took the picture. Most novels, they're always, they're artist renditions of things, but there's very few covers that it's real, except
Oh, yeah, yeah. We're running out of time. So all I want to ask you is one last thing. What did I leave out? And where can we reach you personally?
Hey, I'm very, you can find me on Facebook. I'm Cal Schwartz. You can find me on LinkedIn. I'm Calvin Schwartz. I'm Calvin Barry Schwartz at Gmail. That's my whole name. Just like the name on the book, Calvin Barry Schwartz. I'm calvinschwartz.com, my little website. I spend 12 hours a day hanging around social media, so I'm easily retrievable.
All right. Thank you so much for coming on our show. Thank you to all the listeners. We're Books and More 1818. Like, comment, subscribe, share the channel. It's a free channel. You got nothing to lose. And buy his book. What is it called? Hold it up again.
There's
There's
a
a
tortoise in my
tortoise
hair.
in my hair. Thank you, everyone. Thank you
Thank
for
you,
being on my
Sylvia.
show, Calvin. And
Thank you
we're
so
going to
much.
sign off. Good night, all. Bye bye. Thank you.